True Wealth, According to Christ Introduction. In a world obsessed with status, possessions, and financial success, it's easy to fall into the illusion that wealth means only what money can buy. But for Christ, true wealth is not about what you accumulate, but about what you give. This is the story of Lucas, an ordinary man with an extraordinary life, not because of what he owned, but because of who he became when he discovered the true source of riches. Success that doesn't fulfill Lucas was known as the startup king. At just 32 years old, he had sold 3 tech companies and amassed a fortune that placed him among the youngest millionaires in the country. His life seemed perfect: luxury cars, international trips, exclusive events, and a penthouse in São Paulo. But what no one saw was the emptiness growing in his heart. Every night after the fancy dinners and empty celebrations, Lucas felt a deafening silence within. He didn't know why, but even with everything he had, he felt incomplete, as if something essential was missing. An unexpected encounter. One Sunday morning, without knowing exactly why, Lucas decided to walk to the city's historic center. As he passed by a small square, he saw a group of people gathered. Curious, he approached. It was an open-air sermon. A man with a gentle yet firm voice spoke about the rich young man from the Gospel of Mark. Jesus looked at him and loved him. "One thing you lack," he said. "Go, sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." Lucas felt as if those words were spoken directly to him. Something inside him broke. For the first time in years, he felt like crying. And he did, right there, among strangers. A journey of redefinition. From that day on, something changed. Lucas began attending a simple church far from the spotlight. He started reading the Bible like someone searching for oxygen. Every word of Jesus confronted him, but also healed him. He realized that true wealth isn't measured in numbers, but in generosity, love, and purpose. He started visiting poor communities, donating his time and resources, but above all, building relationships with people he never would have met before. He distanced himself from old habits and friendships that didn't support his new path. He began to fast, pray, and listen to worship music instead of the songs that once connected him only to the world. Each step was hard, but necessary. The inner transformation. Lucas began to find peace. And for the first time, that peace didn't come from a bank account or a new acquisition, but from a heart that had learned to trust in God. His company didn't go bankrupt, but now profit was a means, not the goal. He founded an NGO to train underprivileged youth in technology, but with a difference. Each course began with a reflection on values and the teachings of Jesus. To him, teaching programming without teaching about life was only teaching half the story. One day, while visiting one of the NGO's projects, a young woman named Rebecca approached him and said, "You changed my life. I was about to give up on everything, but now I have hope." That sentence was worth more than any bonus or corporate recognition. Treasure in heaven. Once, when invited to speak at a major business event, someone asked him the secret to his success. Lucas smiled and answered, "I was poor, even with a lot of money. Today I am rich, even with less. I discovered that true wealth is following Christ. Everything that comes after that is a bonus." The auditorium fell silent. Some laughed, others reflected. But Lucas no longer cared about what others thought. His heart was anchored on the rock. Over time, Lucas became known for something far greater than his business achievements. He was recognized for his faith, his humility, and his dedication to others. He became a spiritual advisor to other entrepreneurs, showing that it is indeed possible to live in the business world without selling your soul to the system. Conclusion. True wealth, according to Christ, is invisible to the human eye. It is peace in the midst of war. It is purpose in the middle of chaos. It is joy that does not depend on circumstances. It is knowing that even if everything fails, you are safe in the arms of a God who doesn't measure value by bank balance, but by how much you love. Lucas discovered this in the most unexpected way. By losing what the world calls wealth, he found what heaven considers treasure. And you? Are you ready to discover your true wealth? Maybe you won't need to sell everything you have like the rich young man was challenged to do. But maybe you do need to let go of everything that taking God's place in your heart. True wealth is not a destination, it's a path. And that path has a name, Jesus. Christ did not come into the world to make men rich in goods, but to enrich hearts with abundant life. He calls us not to be owners of the world, but servants of the kingdom. What will you choose? To store up treasures on earth where moth destroys, or in heaven where nothing is lost? Be like Lucas. Don't live just to conquer, live to share. And then you will be truly rich in the eyes of the only one who really matters.